I'm not sure if Black Adam is exactly what the DCEU needs to like relaunch itself and actually try to tell a coherent story, seeing how this movie is not super amazing, but it's okay. I can tell that there's a lot of like want, I guess, behind this project. Like The Rock clearly is overselling the fuck out of this. And honestly, it worked. At least it worked on me, because I wasn't that hyped at first to go see it, but hearing it, consistently hype him up, going to the most random places, bro. He went to a fucking Toronto Maple Leafs hockey game. For what? He would not have been there if Black Adam wasn't coming out the next week. But anyways, he did so much and it actually got me interested, so I guess he got me. Spoilers though, it isn't nearly as good as it's made out to be. Now that's not to say that it's outright bad, because it isn't, but I just think that there's so many misses that it kind of makes it too hard for me to just ignore them. The character of Black Adam himself is good. The entire JSA cast is actually surprisingly good, and they have a much bigger part in the movie than I thought they would. Even the supporting cast of the regular humans is pretty good too. So where do the problems lie? Well, in the pacing and the storytelling. The pacing, put simply, is just kind of bad. The beginning of the movie feels like a kid who forgot to take the chicken out of the freezer and is now just like frantically trying to thaw it before his mom comes home. It's just kind of all over the place. We're first introduced to Black Adam through a narrated intro. Okay, whatever. And then you join the humans as they try to uncover something. I won't spoil it. And then 15 minutes in, Black Adam is blowing shit up, doing all kinds of fuckery clad in honestly questionable CGI at times. But for the most part, it looks cool and it's fun. So I don't really give a fuck. And then you get introduced to Hawkman and it's like, oh shit, nice, I know this dude. Unless you don't know this dude, and it's like, oh shit, I have no idea who this is, but I'll go with it. And then they talk about Dr. Fate. And if you're already confused, this makes it worse, because now you're wondering why Doctor Strange is on the screen.
Psych! I kid!
But actually, you might just be confused, because 4 characters get introduced with literally 0 backstory, and 2 of them are pretty fucking important members of the DC universe, like Atom Smasher and Cyclone, whatever. Them 2, it don't matter that much, especially since Atom Smasher, spoilers I guess if you care, is apparently not even the actual Atom Smasher. It's kind of like a Scott Lang, Hank Pym situation, which I guess worked in the MCU. Maybe it'll work in the DCU if Atom Smasher will come back, but anyways. Worst case, you just kind of take them at face value and you don't lose too much. But Hawkman and Dr. Fate, like there's a lot of lore there. It's literally as if Marvel introduced Doctor Strange in a Winter Soldier movie. It wouldn't make sense, and I feel like DC kind of does that a lot. And personally, it really doesn't work for me as well with story-rich characters. Some characters really doesn't matter. You don't need a big introduction for the detachable kid in the Suicide Squad, that type of shit. But when you start, it's kind of like when they introduced Wonder Woman in Batman v Superman. It's like, okay, I guess she's popular enough that it's fine. You can just introduce them. I don't know. I still wish these characters would get their own movies and then they would kind of like come into like a group setting. In this movie, it's not that bad. I'm not gonna say it's as bad as like BVS with Wonder Woman. The moment was hype. But the fact that you introduce such a big character in a team-up movie where she's not even mentioned is kind of strange. But anyways, as soon as you get introduced to everyone, they're already on their way to take down Black Adam. And I'm sitting in there confused. Like, damn, I just sat down 20 minutes ago. How the fuck did we get here? But that's the thing with this movie. It's always moving at 100. Even in the slow moments, there's usually always something on screen to at least somewhat captivate your attention. Luckily for this movie, The Rock is in it, and captivating attention is kind of his thing, so there's not really a problem there. But he isn't always on screen, and the movie tends to really slow down during these moments. It's like when he's not on screen and they kind of have to make shit happen, they do the wackiest shit you can think of. Like, there is a scene in this movie where somebody goes to hell for a literal 30 seconds and nobody talks about it. Nobody. There's not much setup. There's a bit of setup, I guess. It's mentioned, but there's a very minimal setup for somebody literally going to fucking hell for 30 seconds and coming back. I don't know. The storytelling overall is alright, I guess. I'm not the most well-versed in Black Adam lore, so I can't really comment on the accuracy of everything. But I feel like it doesn't really matter that much as long as the story being told is good. And this one is passable. It's a pretty generic story about a guy who isn't a hero, but he actually is a hero, but not really, but you get it. The one thing that I did find pretty compelling is the dynamic between the JSA and Black Adam, and how the team isn't really seen in a positive light in Kahndaq at all, despite their goal seeming noble. You know, they want to come help the people of Kahndaq, who seem to be in danger because of Black Adam. But that's because they don't know the situation of the place that they're coming to, as opposed to Black Adam, who, despite being a fucking maniac and admittingly not knowing much about the situation either, he's actually trying to help these people in a way. It's a pretty interesting idea, and it's definitely not just like a one-off comment made somewhere in the movie. It's a constant idea that keeps coming back, and to me, I think it's one of the best main story beats that this movie has, and I wish they would have spent a little more time on it. Although, like I said, they spend good time on it, so I'm not mad at it, but I think it was a really interesting thing. I definitely feel like the fact that Black Adam was obviously never going to be an actual villain. Sorry if I'm spoiling it, but if you really think The Rock is going to play an actual villain in a movie when the entire tagline of the movie is how the character is morally gray, obviously he was going to... Anyways, I don't gotta explain myself. It just makes the third act kind of meh. Like, everything gets resolved realistically like 30-ish minutes before the movie ends. But we need a big final battle, so let's give a payoff to whatever villain that's been kind of doing shit in this movie. It's not the most horrible outcome. Honestly, the final fight is cool, although it's pretty short, but you know, it serves its purpose. And it was just kind of predictable, which is whatever. But did I really expect anything? Not really. Is this what the DCU needed to get back to actually telling grand interconnected stories, like I said? Well, in a way, kinda. Because this isn't the best DCEU movie, definitely not. But it's a very fun one, and it has me looking forward to any future installment in this universe, which is all any of these movies have to do. Make me want to come back and watch the next one. Now, do I wish that the CGI was better at times? That the dialogue was better whenever Dr. Fate and Hawkman weren't on screen? And that the humor hit a little better? Yeah, obviously. But, you know, simply put, this is a flawed but very fun movie that bombards you with action essentially like the whole way through while telling a at least decent story. And I think at this point, it's good enough. I'm gonna give this a grade of a 6.5. Would it be spoilers if I talked about the post-credit scene, considering The Rock himself has spoiled it? I don't know. But holy shit, would I have not expected that if I didn't already know about it.